Hi, baseball fans. We're here today with Doral head coach Ralph Suarez. We're going to be previewing the upcoming 6A regional finals between Doral and St. Thomas. Coach, welcome in.
Thank you for having me, Anthony.
Let's talk a little bit about last week's series. You guys and Braddock, um, two lopsided games in game 1 and 2, and then a barn burner there in game 3. So talk a little bit about it.
Well, they did a good job, and they came out and Marcelo pitched like an ace. Probably the best game he's pitched all year. You know, uh, 5 innings. Gave up only one hit, and only walked a couple of guys. He was very dominant, like he should be for how hard he throws, and he's a major Division 1 guy. Um, we're gonna need that. We're gonna need that this coming week. If he does that, well, we can be very competitive. So, um, the other game, obviously, Aaron has had a great year. It's probably the worst outing he's had all year. But he's been even a little bit more consistent than, believe it or not, Marcelo. And he just, had a bad outing. It got away from us quickly. So, you know, uh, we went to our back end bullpen guys and stuff like that. And then, like I told you last week, our core guys, the George Pardos, the Jaden Nunez, the Gabby Milano, the year that he's having, and those core guys, Leo and those other guys, they're having career years. They're having better years than they had last year, and they've helped the younger group. The Caleb Hernandez kid has just had a phenomenal year for a freshman. He actually had 3 hits in a game 3. They've done an outstanding job of carrying this team to where they are now. And, like I said, we've gone through the win. We've gotten embarrassed a couple of times, and we were able to come back. Obviously, Jaden hasn't pitched a ton this year, and, he took the ball and didn't walk anybody. I think he got a little tired towards the end there in the 5th inning. And, he hadn't pitched that long all year. And he did it with Gussie, and then we had a young kid come in, Pies, who did a great job the last inning and stuff like that. It was crazy atmosphere, but stuff that we're used to. It's not stuff that we're overwhelmed by. Um, that's why sometimes, our record may be not as great as everybody else's. But, even though I think this team has really overachieved with how many young guys we've had in playing, that the amount of guys that are playing that are first year guys that are playing on a daily basis.
Talk a little bit about. I've been talking to coaches today about one of the awesome things that we're seeing in these series and this year's playoffs is you have guys that in past years might not have gotten on the mound in the playoffs, might not have gotten at bats in the playoffs, might not have, but because of these series and how you have to juggle guys in and out and the depth of the 3-game series, you're starting to see some guys perform and show what they're capable of doing that maybe even weren't even considered major contributors to your state title run, but now you're seeing them thrive. And I guess everybody's kind of seeing what baseball's like down here in South Florida, and you're seeing it on a much deeper level this year. Do you feel that from your end?
Well, yeah, we knew that we were going to have to use some guys, and it happened on Thursday. We used some guys that we didn't think, back years before would have never got an opportunity to pitch in that type of setting. So we tried to give these guys as many of opportunities as we can to try to get them ready. Obviously, it's difficult to put these kids in that type of setting all the time. Um, but obviously, there's a lot of strategy that goes into doing that. And for example, I knew it was going to be tough to go to Braddock, but once we got down 6-1, 7-1, I couldn't take advantage and use one of my quality arms.
Right.
And then what happens if we end up losing that game 5-6? You know what I'm saying, or 6-5, even though we were at home. I had to make sure that I started with a fresh, and it was a tough situation because we had a rain delay, we had a lightning delay for over 2 hours, so we didn't get that game started till like 5:30.
Right.
So, and so I think again, this 3-game series is the best thing that ever happened because at the end of the day, you're going to get the best 4 teams in every class into the finals, and it gives an opportunity. If you have 1 or 2 big arms, you're going to need a couple of more guys. You're not going to be able to get it done with just 2 guys, which shows a little bit of depth. and it just makes things a little bit more fair for everybody. I think even for the more inferior teams, it gives them the opportunity of, hey, we can get to that third game, we can get back home, and we'll have a shot. And I was looking before we played on Saturday. It was a ton at three games. There was a lot of them were 3 game series.
Right.
Us were playing Braddock. I mean, it was 2 Dade County teams, and they're trying to get to our level and stuff like that. So I knew it was going to be a handful having to go to their place, and they play well at their place, like we play at ours. And they gave us everything we could handle. My hats off to Harold. He's done a great job over there of getting those guys, to play extremely hard for him and stuff. But this is all. This is what. That's why I don't put a lot of stuff into. People get all bent that shit about the rankings. You want to be ranked in the middle of May. If you're ranked in the top 5 in the middle of May, then you're doing something. I think I lost you. So let me go back. Anthony, you there? I lost
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, I lost you for a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, like I was telling you, people get all bent out of shape with the rankings and all that. I think it's great for the parents and for the fans and stuff, but I don't get too wrapped up in rankings. At the end of the day, if you're playing in May and you do what you're supposed to do, you're gonna end up being one of the top ranked teams. You know,
Talk a little bit about your next opponent because St. Thomas is built a little bit differently than a lot of these teams down here in South Florida. They swing it. They got some guys in the
yeah.
lineup that can swing it.
Oh yeah.
So you guys have kind of been the class of this 6A. You guys and them have kind of been the
Yeah.
class, 2 of the teams.
Well, I'm gonna put it out there. I really think who wins this series may win the state championship.
Which I just had the same conversation with Matter Academy in Varela, where
Yeah.
you're getting such good baseball here, but you guys, the stakes are even higher, just like with them, where you guys, whoever comes out of this is probably going to be the favorite to win it all. So talk about that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, it looks like they're really talented this year, and they're heavy loaded senior wise, and they play extremely well at their park. And you better have a quality arm, or it's going to get ugly quick. I mean, at least that's the way it looks. I didn't get an opportunity to play them this year, and stuff like that, but they have huge. I mean, we have like 38 home runs. They have like 60. So
Right, right.
so they're going to be more than. I'm going to go out on the limb and say I really believe that who wins that series has got a really good shot of winning the state championship.
Sure, sure. And how do you guys just came out of a hectic environment and
Right.
in Braddock, and you're going into that in St. Thomas too. Their fans are right on top of you over there at their field.
I think it's a little different because it's not 2 Dade County teams. I think they're going to come on and play hard, and I think, but it's a little different atmosphere. Again, we're gonna have to come out and play, or you're gonna get embarrassed.
Right.
Because they can really swing it, and I've got a lot of respect for them, and they got a great program over there, and they're usually very good. So, we're gonna have to come out and play our A game, and to have an opportunity to win this series. It's not gonna be easy. They got super talented guys. They got a guy leading the country in home runs, and but we got some guys that can swing it a little bit too. So.
Yep.
Hopefully we can compete with them, and we actually, I think we're pitching staff. We're kind of similar. They have two good arms, and I think they have the shortstop that comes in a lot, and we have Aaron and Marcelo, and then we have Jaden, that are our top guys, and then we got a couple of guys that can compete a little bit, but I think that they're similar to us in there, and maybe I'm wrong, but. Hopefully we can Marcelo could come out and have another great game and giving us an opportunity, to at least take one over there. Because then it'd come back Saturday to Doral, and at Doral it's tough to beat us, you know. So
Sure. Well, we're looking forward to it. I know the community's looking forward to it. Good luck this week, and hopefully we'll be talking at the end of the week.
well, if I'm talking at the end of the week, we're in the Final Four, and then I did my job.
All
So
right.
all right,
Have a good
thank
one,
you,
Coach.
thank you for
All right.
having me. Thank you. Bye.